Have you ever heard of Tom Tobin? If not, prepare to be surprised. He is a man who lived and left his mark in the Wild West, a true legend and inspiration for all who love American history. Tom Tobin is no ordinary bounty hunter. He is also a fearless adventurer and a symbol of justice. In this video, we take a closer look at his incredible life story and why he is considered the most exciting first bounty hunter of all time. Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos. Tom Tate Tobin is a frontiersman, trapper, guide, U.S. Army scout, and legendary bounty hunter. During his expeditions, he set foot on large tracts of land in southern Colorado, including the Pueblo area. He associates with several legendary characters of the Wild West, including Kit Carson, Uncle Dick Wootton, Ceran Vrain, Charley Bent, John Fremont, Wild Bill Hickok, William Cody, and the Shoup brothers. Tobin was one of only two men to survive the siege of the Turkey Distillery and the distillery during the Taos Rebellion. He is then called upon by the army to track down and kill the infamous Felipe Espinosa and his nephew. Upon his return to Fort Garland, Tobin presented their heads in a sack to the army, proof of his success. On May 1, 1823, in St. Louis, Missouri, Thomas Tate Tobin was born into a complicated family. His father, Bartholomew Tobin, was an Irish immigrant, and his mother, Sarah Autobys, is believed to be Lenape. Sarah was widowed before marrying Tobin. She has a son of her own, Charles Autobys. The couple welcomed daughter Catherine just a year later. From a young age, Thomas Tobin was a man of courage and direction. He loved adventure and wanted to explore the wildland. In 1828, Charles Autobys, then 16 years old, headed west to work as a beaver trapper. It's a difficult and dangerous life, but Charles manages to get through it. 9 years later, he returns to St. Louis much older and much more mature. It was during this time that Charles's half-brother, Tom Tobin, joined him and his colleague Ceran Vrain on a journey back to Taos. At the time, Tom was only 14 years old, but he was already a seasoned trapper and scout, honing his skills at Bent's Fort. Together, the men worked at Simeon Turley's shop and distillery at Arroyo Hondo, bringing the hides back to St. Louis in exchange for supplies. They frequently stopped at forks like Jackson, Lupton, Bent, and El Pueblo. Despite the difficulties they faced, Charles, Tom, and their colleagues were determined to succeed in their chosen professions. They are brave and determined men, ready to accept any challenge to survive and thrive in the wilderness. In 1846, he married Pascuala Bernal, and they lived in Arroyo Hondo near Taos, where Tom worked for Simeon Turley, delivering dispatches to Fort Leavenworth to General Stephen Kearny. However, their peaceful life was shattered when the rebels began an uprising in Don Fernando de Taos on January 19, 1847. The uprising was led by Pablo Montoya, a Mexican, and Thomas Romero, a Pueblo, also known as Tomasito. They stormed the home of Governor Charley Bent, murdered several government officials, including Stephen Lee, Cornelio Vigil, and J.W. Lill, and burnt Bent to death in front of his wife and children. The next day, a large mob of about 500 Mexicans and Pueblos attacked and surrounded Simeon Turley's distillery, where Tom Tobin and the Autobys were working. The Autobys rode quickly to Santa Fe in search of help, leaving only 8 to 10 mountain men, including Tom's son, to guard the factory. After a long battle, only 2 men, Johnny Albert and Tobin, survived. They left the burning factory separately in the chaos of the night skirmish. After escaping, Tobin and the Autobys worked as scouts for a company led by Captain Ceran Vrain and commanded to find and capture the rebels. Those who were not killed in battle were tried and most were hanged. Romero was assassinated while in prison by an American cavalryman, John Fitzgerald. In 1847, Tobin began farming the land along the San Carlos River near Fort Bent, where he sold his crops to Lieutenant Colonel William Gilpin and his army. Gilpin recognizes Tobin's abilities and offers him as a messenger in the planned spring campaign against the Indians. Then, just before the Civil War, Major B.L. Beall hired Tobin as a scout to guide an expedition to find a railroad to California. Beall describes Tobin as, quote, who has a reputation almost equal to Kit Carson's bravery, rifle dexterity, and mountain survival skills. In November 1868, General Penrose trusted Tobin to be appointed as chief scout for the campaign to hunt the Indians. His brother, Charles Appleby, and legendary character Wild Bill Hickok were also hired as scouts. Tobin's reputation as a skilled scout and follower resonated far and wide. In the early 1860s, Felipe Espinosa moved with two cousins to the San Luis Valley from New Mexico. The Espinosas carried out many killings starting in 1863, killing more than 30 Britons in the area in revenge for loved ones killed in the Mexican-American War. Several teams and soldiers from Fort Garland tried to capture them, but they were always one step ahead. Even after killing one of the brothers, he was quickly replaced by a cousin, and their reign of terror continued. Colonel Sam Tappan, Fort Garland's commanding officer, knew they needed help to end the Espinosa's reign of terror. He had to look to Tobin for support, providing him with a squad of 15 soldiers. However, Tobin noticed that the soldiers made too much noise on the trail and were not much help, so he bravely let them stay in camp while he pursued the Espinosas alone. Tobin quickly traced the Espinosas to a camp. He patiently waited for the right moment, coldly shooting them. He took their heads and brought them back in a sack to Fort Garland as proof of his success. When Tappan asked him how his trip was going, Tobin simply replied, "Same thing," and rolled the heads out of the sacks and onto the floor. The government then offered a bounty of several thousand dead or alive dollars to the Espinosas, but Tobin never collected the full amount. Tobin's bravery and success in taking down the Espinosas was recognized by the governor of Colorado, who presented him with a jacket resembling Kit Carson's. The military also honored him with a Henry rifle. Tobin's actions helped bring peace to the San Luis Valley, and he will always be remembered as the hero who ended the Espinosa's reign of brutal terror. As the years passed, Tobin's daughter, Pascualita, grew up and fell in love with William Billy Carson, the son of famous mountain man Kit Carson. They married in 1878, and Tobin was happy to see his daughter married. However, Tobin soon learns that Billy is abusing Pascualita, and he can't stand to watch his daughter suffer. He decides to confront Billy, seeking revenge for the pain he caused his daughter. But instead of a fight, Tobin was shot by Billy Carson. Although Tobin fortunately survived the attack, his wounds never fully healed. However, he outlived Billy by many years. Tobin died on May 16, 1904, and was laid to rest at Fort Garland, Colorado. Tom Tobin's story is one of the most compelling in the Wild West. His career as a bounty hunter and scout is full of danger and adventure. He was a brave marksman and follower, respected by all. Tom Tobin's legacy exists as a reminder of the courage and perseverance that made a true hero. He will always be remembered as one of the most exciting and impressive bounty hunters of all time. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comments below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.